Everyone, my name is Femi Aisha, and in this tutorial we are going to be building this and then using React.js and TailwindCss. So this is a desktop view, so I want us to check the mobile as well. So yeah, so this is the mobile version, and equally we can check for other as well. Okay, so I think we can check for iPad here. Okay, so this is what we are going to be building, and so without wasting time, let's get right into the tutorial. So the source code for this project is going to be available on GitHub, and then I've provided a link below for us to get access to the source code. And also don't forget to like, to share, and then to drop your comment below. So let's get into, so this is source code on GitHub. So I'm going to start by creating a folder. So I'm going to create a folder here. So let's call it photo page. So I'm going to open a new tab. So let's try and open a new tab here, a new window. So what I'm going to do right now is to drag the folder here. So inside this folder is where we are going to do all our installations. So the next thing I want to do right now is to install React. So our application is still loading. So okay, the folder is just loaded now. So I'm going to open my terminal now. So let me open my terminal. So as you can see, this is an empty folder. It's an empty folder. So we want to start with installing React now. So let me check Linux. There's nothing. So we are going to do npm create vit. We are using vit at latest. And vit is going to ask us a couple of questions. So let's say photo. We just call it photo. Why am I writing photo? So it's going to ask us for options. So we want to install React. And it's going to ask if it's going to be JavaScript or TypeScript. So we are going with JavaScript. And that is all. So following the instructions that we have to seed in, we have to change directly into the folder. So because installing React is going to come with some other files, so which everything is in a folder. So as you can see now, we have a folder here. So we created a folder named photo for us, in which we have other things there, files and all of that. So you are going to seed in. So I'm going to change directory now. Let's say directory to photos. So we check now. So this is where we are supposed to be. So the next thing we want to do now is to install TailwindCss. And when I install TailwindCss, I normally use this article, which I'm going to drop the link below in the description. So it says to install TailwindCss and its peer dependencies. So we have to run this. So let's take this. So I'm going to bring it here, paste it here. And while that is running, I'm also going to copy this. We need a config file. Also going to, I think it's still installing. Okay, so while that is installing, we are going to copy this post.css config. So we are going to create this file ourselves. So what we are going to do is to create this branch. Then we are going to copy this inside the post.css and then put it here. Okay, so the next thing we want to do now is to create our CSS config file, CJS. So let's create it. And then the next thing we want to do is to copy the path for our files now. So I believe that once you follow these guidelines, you'll be able to install Tailwind successfully. You'll be able to successfully add Tailwind to your React project. And then the last but not the least we are going to do is to copy this. So we are going to put this in our index.css. So go to your source. Inside your source folder, then your index.css. So I don't need any of this. I'm just going to take this out, and then I'm going to paste it right here. So in our app.js, I'm going to clean up this file because there are so many things that are here that we don't need this for now. So I'm just going to take this. Let's take this. So I'm going to take this out for now, and then I'm going to take this as well. So I'm going to take this out. So I'm going to do hello world to check if Tailwind is successfully installed in our project. And I have class name. I'm going to write class name. Let's do test red 400. Okay, then we can put a size there. Let's do tests. These are Tailwind classes. Okay, tests. This is 30%. This is font size. So we are having a font size of 30 pixels. So what we want to do next is to run the server now. We are going to do npm run dev. So I'm going to do npm run dev. So to run the project. Okay, so the project is, so we have going to this local host. Yeah, wow. So we have our Tailwind successfully added to our React file successfully. So the next thing we want to do now is to start developing. So this is what we want to do. This is like a picture image of the project that we want to work on, and this project is, we are going to start with the desktop version. Then when we are done with the desktop view or the laptop view, then we move to the tablet, and then we move over to the mobile view. Okay, but yeah, but the Tailwind approach is from the, I'm going to explain the responsiveness, uh the responsiveness in Tailwind, because the Tailwind approach is to start from mobile to the tablet and then to the desktop view. But I'm going to start from the desktop view in this tutorial. But it's still the same thing. So you have to just go with the one that works for you. Okay, so I'm going to create this like a wrapper container, and then I'm going to create this, and then from this, so I'm going to be using Flex for a lot of things I'll be doing on this project. So I'm going to use Flex for this. I'm going to use Flex, and then I'm going to use Flex Wrap, and then I'm also going to use Flex for this. So what I'm going to do is to use Flex for this, and then I'm also going to use Flex for this. I'm also going to be using Flex for this. So this tutorial is going to help you to solidify your understanding of Flexbox in TailwindCss and know how Flexbox works really very well in TailwindCss. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is to get this out first. So the first thing we're going to do is, let's get back to uh, our code. So I'm going to take this out now entirely. So let me just take this out now. And the first thing we want to do is to create each one. So let me just arrange my stuff properly. So I want to start with this. So we are going to start with these two guys here. Okay, so this is a finished project. Let's come here. So I'm going to start with this now. So it's popular collection. So let's do popular collection. I'm going to put a class name here. It's going to be text of 24, text. It's saying the font size of 24 pixels. So when we put your cursor, you're going to see 24. So you're going to your extension, you are going to see some Tailwind extension to use. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do is, okay, so I'm going to, let's check what we have. So this is what we have. So but I need it to be at the center. Okay, so what I want to do is to get this out at the center like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do MX. I want the maximum width in Excel. So this is what I'm going to do is 1280 pixel. Okay, so 1080 pixel. I want a padding top of let's do margin top and bottom of 10 pixel like this, or margin top of uh 40. So 40 should be like 160 pixel. So let's check. So this is what we have now. So what I want to do is, if I put a border here, so one of the things I love to do is to put a border here, and let's check what we have. Let's do red 900. So this is what we have, and I want it to be at the center. Okay, so I want this to be at the center, and in order to have that at the center, I'm going to do MX auto. So MX auto is saying margin left, margin right. Auto means that divide the space equally and then put it at the center. So by the time we check our work now, this is what we are going to see. So it's perfectly at the center now. So I want a bit of padding around the element. Okay, padding on this, on the left and right. So I'm going to do padding X to be 16 pixel. So I'm going to have padding to be 16 pixel. So this is what we have. And I think I'm also going to have padding 8 pixel, top and bottom. So this is what I have. So the next thing I want to do is to give it a background color. I'm going to give it a background color of gray 200. This is what we have. And then if you notice, we have a bit of curved edges, which is that's border radius. We're going to have a border radius of, you can see border radius of 16. Yes. So have a border radius of 16. Okay. So if you don't know, you can come to the extension here. I think you can search for Tailwind extension that I'm using and get it out. Okay, so this is it. So you can use this, so you can get, as you can see, TailwindCss IntelliSense. So you can see it has a millions of downloads. So with that, you'll be able to get access to some of this utility and the suggestion that it's bringing. So by the time we check now, what do we have? Boom. So this is what we have. So the next thing we want to do now is to a bit kind of so I'm going to change this font to be uh so that, let's make that font a bit bigger, and then we are going to change the font to serif. Okay, then I need a bit of margin top to be 4 pixel. So when we check now, so this is what we have. So I'm going to create, I'm going to be creating these guys here now. So I'm going to be creating this. Okay, looks like a link. Okay, so let's take our border. This is just to help me. Let's take the border. Where's the second? Let's take this out. So I'm going to create a UL. UL. In our UL, we're going to have several headline. So we're going to have profile. We're having our profile. We have profile New York. New York. Profile New York relaxing person. So relaxing person and fashion. So UI is on another list, and then list items. Okay, so when we check what we have, this is what we have presently, and we don't want it to be like this. We want it to be side by side. So what we are going to do is to give it a class name of, give it a flex. This is going to be flex, and then we are going to, like I said, we are going to wrap it. We're going to give it flex wrap. Okay, or let me remove the flex wrap now. So for now, we are going to give it a gap of 2 pixels. Okay. Then I want a bit of margin bottom 8 and then margin top 4. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, so the next thing is to get the background color, and to get that we are just going to come Let's just come here. I'm going to put a class name here. So you can do class name. We're going to do a class name of BG White. Okay. Then margin top. That's padding top and bottom of 1 pixel. Then padding left and right is going to be 2. And then we are going to have a rounded, there's a kind of border radius, a very small, tiny bit of border radius, and then the text is SM. This is 14, the font is on the 14 pixel, and then we are going to have the font to be semi-bold. Semi-bold is around 600. Okay. All right. So this is what we are going to have here. Okay, so by the time we check our work, boom, this is what we have. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so this is what we have, and I'm just going to collapse this, just going to collapse it so that we have a bit of space. So the next thing we want to focus on is we want to focus on this aspect. Like I said, I'm also going to be using flexbox for this, but it's still TailwindCss. And the first thing is, since we are working with React, and React is component based UI, a component framework, what we're going to do is to get this done. Once I can get this done, then get this component done. So what I'm going to do is to pass in everything I'm having here as props into the component so that the component can be usable. So I'm just going to do this one. Once we get this one done, then we can easily get the other one. So it's going to be we repeating this component. Okay, so sound interesting. So let's start with this guy. So I'm going to get this guy. So what I'm going to do is to create a div now. So let's come out of here. I'm going to do a div. Inside our div now, so that means I'm having a div now. So that means there's a wrapper divs that wraps these three cards. So then the individual divs now represent this one alone. Okay, so this is the first div. Okay, so uh inside this now, I'm going to put my images. I'm going to be wrapping them with a div. Okay, so this one is going to be a div. I'm going to put image here. So but one thing I'm going to do here now is to real quick here is I'm going to set a class here. So let's put a class here. I'm going to set the width to be 1/3. Okay, so I just wanted to, I don't want it to take the full width for now. So on my GitHub, let's get the source code. I want to get the image. So to get the image, all you need to do is to go to our Splash. Okay, I think we can get that from our Splash. Can get it on splash.com. So why I open up my Git here on Splash. So let's search for people. In fact, I don't need to open this. So we can just click on this, and then all we need to do is to just copy the image address. So copy the image address while this is loading. So just dump it here, booms, and we are done. So I'm just going to enter here inside our app.js. Yeah, so I just want to get out this. So I'm just going to copy this out later. So but for now, so what I'm going to do is to, okay, so I'll just copy this out later. So this is our project. So this is what we have. Okay, so and this is what we want to achieve. So what we're going to do is to work on the external div that wraps the image. So and how do we get that? So this is the external div that wraps the image. Let's do class name. So I'm going to do a bit of border to recognize that. So just do border red 600. Okay, so we know this is it. So what we want to do is to give it a bit of padding. So let's have padding around 4 pixel. What am I writing? So we're going to do padding around to be 4 pixel. and then the BG is going to be white, the background color is going to be white. We are going to have it to be rounded 2 pixel. So that is pretty cool because this is what we want to have, a kind of border radius, a bit curve. Yeah, this is what we have. So our major next focus is going to be this guy here. Okay, so what we are going to do is to come out of this div. So this div wraps this central image and then we are coming into this. So we come out of it. Let's create a div now. So we are going to have a wrapper div now. So what it means is there's a wrapper div that wraps these three images. And what I'm going to do is to put them individually inside a div. So that means there's a wrapper div in which I'm going to set my flex. And then inside that div, I'm going to have these three images. So what I'm going to do is to come here, put a class name here. I'm just going to put a border, let's do a border of 4, border blue, just a way of sectioning my project. So I'm going to do a div here. So I'm going to put my image here. So let me just go on GitHub. Let's just copy one of this link here. Let's copy this guy, Bruce. And this is what we have. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is so this is a wrapper div now. Okay, so we have to have 3 of this. So we're going to do 1, that's 3. So we're having it in 3 places now. So there's a wrapper div where I set the border to be blue. Okay, so and this is what we have. As you can see there's a border of blue. That's a div that wraps the 3 images. Okay, so as you can see, this is what we have. So in the wrapper div, this is a wrapper div now. So on this wrapper div is where I'm going to set my flex. So I'm going to set something to flex. By the time I set it to flex, boom, this is what you see. Straightforward. Okay. So and the next thing you want to do is kind of put a gap there, a gap of 4. I'm going to have a gap of 4, which is okay. And then on the images now, we're going to do some things. Let's come here and put a class name here. Let's put a class name of rounded 2XL. Rounded 2XL. I think we are good. So I'm just going to copy this. Copy here, paste here, copy here, paste here. So I think we are good. Right this is coming. So I'm going to take this blue line for demarcation. I'm going to take it out. We don't need it anymore. I think we are good now. So by the time we check, wow. So this is what we have. So the next thing we want to do is to do going to have okay, so yeah, there should be a border MB. Let's do something here. The central image is here. This is it. So let's do okay. The central image. So we are going to put rounded 2XL MB4. So that's padding button. Yeah, this is what I want to do. So the next thing we want to focus on now is to get this out now. So you want to do this. And in order to do this, we are still using flexbox. Okay, so that means I'm going to come out of, so to use flexbox now means I'm going to come out of this particular div. So let's collapse this guy like this. Okay, and then we have another div here. So don't forget that we have the source code on GitHub. So what do we have? We have we are going to have a repeat tag, which is called person or people. And then the next thing I'm going to create a div to wrap those guys there. So I'm going to have a bit of icon there, and then let me have a span. Then we are going to have what we have there. We have 144. In this tutorial, I'm going to use a box icon. So let's quickly use a box icon like this. Using a box icon. So let's see the usage. So let's get to the usage. So I'm going to use the CDN since we are just going to use not doing so much. So we're going to use CDN. So I'm just going to copy the CDN here. So copy the CDN. Let's go to our React project. React project. So I'm going to go into my public. Okay, so now index now. So here we are going to put it here. Since we are using CDN, so the essence of using CDN is you'll be able to then we can use the font now. I mean, you're using CDNs to be able to access whatever you want, to be able to access the font. Okay, so we're going to just pick one font here. So I think I'm good with this. So I'm going to pick the font. So let's copy once. So we've copied, and then let's bring it in here like this. Okay, so let's check our project. So this is what we have. Okay, so there's a bit of issue here. So it's supposed to be inside this white. So that means we are missing something out here. So what I'm going to do is to copy this guy, cut it, then let's come here. Yes, it's going to be inside this. Okay, so we're going to come down. Okay, so what I've done is we have we have this is a wrapper div here. Is wrapping what now? I think there's a little mistake here. This there's no mistake here. This is the first central image. If I cut it, then this represents these three images that we have here. Okay, so what we have here is this three images. Yes, this. So this is the first one, second one. So the third one is going to be this. So we're going to put it here, and here we go. Yes. So what we're going to do now is we are going to use flex. So I'm going to use flex for this. So I'm going to flex this item, and then I'm going to use justify between. So if I come here on top here, what I'm going to do is going to set a class name to be flex justify between rows. When I do justify between, this is what I get. Okay, justify between, and I'm going to do margin top 3. So that margin top 3 is going to give me 12 pixel. And then let's do the font size to be semi bold, which is I think it's 600. So as for this, I want this to be balanced well. Okay, so I'm going to set this one to flex as well. I want to be well centered. So I'm going to do flex items center, and then a bit of a gap of 1. Okay, I think I'm good. I think we are good. We are perfectly okay now. So since I've been able to do this one, since I have this one done, so what I can do is to duplicate this code. So I can as well, we can as well, so if I remove this now, so I can remove this guy here. I remove this guy, so I have it big. Okay, so what I can do now is to, okay, so we can come here and then duplicate this guy. So you can duplicate like this, like this. So we duplicated in 3 places. So we check our work now. So this is what we have. Okay, so we can come to the wrapper div now. So I made mention of a wrapper div that wraps the three cards. So all you have to do is to come to so this is a wrapper div now. So by the time on the wrapper div, set it to flex. Set it to flex. So what happens when you set it to flex? Because they are div. Because you need to understand we have inline element and block level element. Block level element takes the full width. Okay, so in our case now, most of our work is wrapped to div, which makes it a block level element. So when you set it to a flex, it automatically makes it an inline block element, meaning that it takes the width of the content and then you can have those elements placed side by side to each other. So this is what we have. Booms. Okay, and then we can create a bit of padding, a bit of space or gap between them. So, but what I want to do is to, you know what I want to do. So I'm going to come back. What we want to do is to create a container. So we're going to create, uh, we are going to create a component. I'm going to call the component gallery and then pass everything we want to do as props. All right. So no, it's not what I want to. Okay, so let me just take this guy out. So I'm going to cut. So I'm going to cut this out. Let's cut this and then let's come over right here and paste it here. Okay, so let me just minimize this. And then let me, yeah, so this is what we have. So I have it here already. So we cannot see anything because we need to import our gallery. So what we want to do is to import. It's a component now. The essence of using a component is usability. By the time we check our work now, boom, this is what we have already. So so what I'm going to do is so I'm going to set this one to flex. Now, nothing changes because we don't have further cards already. So what we're going to do now is to create props. So I'm going to be passing the pictures, the words and the counts and every other things as props. So what we're going to do is we're going to destructure uh, some properties now. Title, count, central image. We're going to do left image. We're going to do middle image. We're going to do right image as well. So these are props that we are going to be passing. So what I'm going to do is to let's take this guy out. Let's take it out. Let's take it out. So what we're going to pass is central image. Okay, and then same thing for this guy as well. Let's take this guy out. So central image, we're going to have left image. Yeah, and then so this one. So source, we're going to have the middle image now. So the middle image is talking about this guy here. Talking about this guy here. The middle image is talking about this guy here. So and then the last but not the least is going to be this guy, so which is going to be the right image. The right image. So what we have left is a title. So this is going to be the title, and then we are going to have the count here as well. Count here as well. Okay, all right. So this is what we have. So By the time we come to this now, so we are going to be passing those things as props. So the title, the count, the central image, and all of that. So I'll just go to my Git now. Let's come here. So this is representing the props now. The central image, the left image, the middle image, the right image, the title, the count, and all of that. So these images I got it from on Splash. Like I showed us the other time on Splash. How do we get to on Splash? So all you have to do is to come here and copy image like this. So I've selected some images and I want it to be uniform and not to take our time. So I'm just going to copy this. This is on my GitHub and it is you can check below for the link to my GitHub for you to copy and have access to the image. Let's come back. So you're going to come here. Just going to take this guy out. Then bounce. So this is what we have. Okay, so I've been able to copy it. And then without flex, that's a wrapper div now. You can see now these are props. I've destructured the props. Okay, so you see it here now. Just using one component. Okay, and then passing in properties. So that makes it reusable. Yeah, sorry. So by the time we check our work, this is what we have presently. Okay, so what we want to do now is to, is this one not showing properly? So what we like to do now is to set the wrapper div to flex. Let's set this guy to flex, and let's give it a gap of 12 as well. So yeah, bams. So how am I able to do that? All I need to do is everything here I've used flex. Okay, the cards, I'm able to bring the cards side by side to each other by using flex. And then a bit of gap. So the gap here is 12. So which is 48. Okay, I think we are pretty almost done. I think one bit is to probably give it, I think we are done. I think we are done now. And yeah, I think we are done. So we'll start working on the responsiveness now. So by the time we check now, we can see that this is very bad. This is terrible. This is bad. And we want to make this responsive. Okay, so I'm going to, let's come here. So you can see this is not good at all. So the first thing we want to do is to, so now we check what I have here. What I have here is saying flex. So what I'm going to do is without flex, what it means is the card is going to stack on each other, and that is what we want on a mobile view and on a tablet view. Okay, so what we're going to do is if we leave it here like this, if we remove this flex, so let's come back to Tailwind now. We are using Tailwind now. So this is what we have. So what we are saying is this kind of view is what we want from tablet to mobile. So that means for us to have flex, if you want it to be flex, if you want something to stay side by side, that means we are going to set it on a large screen. So because in TailwindCss we have, I'm going to show something really quick now. For responsiveness, we have different screen sizes. Responsiveness. Let's search for responsiveness. So responsiveness. So responsive design. Okay. So for the responsiveness design, we have different screen. 640 pixel, 760 pixel. So what he's saying is 6 plus 6 640 pixel. Between 640 to 720 is a small screen. Then we have the medium screen in between that 668 and this, and then large screen, which is going to start from 124 pixel down to before 1000 1280 pixel. Okay, so it's starting from the mobile now and then take it forward and that. So what we are going to do is this is what we want for the mobile and tablet. So what we are going to say is we are saying large. So what you are doing now, The screen is going to say large. So we want our light to be flex. So large is going to be flex. So that means we want on a large screen, we want it to be flex like this. So let's give it a gap of 12 as well. Then what it means is we are specifying flex only on desktop view. Okay, so that's what we are doing here. Only on desktop view is going to be flex. Okay, so by the time we go now, so what do we have here? Saying 1001 1280. So 1280 is, so anything below 1280 now is going to change back to being stacked on each other. Okay, so let's go 1280. Okay, so you can see now. Mm, yes, so oh sorry, I mean 1024. 1024. Okay, we set the flex to be 1024. So anything that is 1024 is going to be what? Flex. So that means if you set your screen to be the light to be from large to be flex, so it's going to from 1024 down to the extra large and extra large. That's how it works in Tailwind. Okay, so that means anything below this is going to be what? Is going to be block. So that means we didn't set anything here, which means it's going to take assume the default position, you know. So and as well I can set flex column to be, I can do flex column here as well, but there's no need because the default position is going to stack on each other, and this is what we have already. Okay, so what we want to do is to put a bit of gap. Okay, so let's have some gaps. So what we're going to do is to, so we're going to have, let's go to our gallery. So let's going to have m, and saying margin top and bottom should be 40. Okay, you can see now there's a bit of space here now. There's a bit of space. There's a bit of space. And then I want to do something on, so let's go back and see. Okay, I think we are good. I think we are okay with that. So if we keep going, so we've been able to solve that now. So by the time we go, we can see right now that our link here is not okay. So what we are going to do there is to come to our UL. Where's our UL? Oh, our UL. Come over to our UL. So in our UL here, we're going to set it to flex wrap. Flex wrap like this. So what we are going to do is, what it means is, yeah, so this is what I want to achieve. You can see, so by the time you move closer to a small screen, it wraps. And then there's a lot of spaces in between this guy, which I don't like. So I'm just going to focus on the mobile screen now. So what we're going to do is, we set the padding, you know, on large screen, desktop to be 16 pixels. So we are saying 16 on left and 16 on the right. So what I'm going to do is I'm setting this to be the large screen, while on a small screen is going to be S4. You understand that? So you need to take note that the ones for the default position, which is the smallest screen in Tailwind, I don't have to specify it. So the ones I specify are the larger screens, because wherever I specify the larger screens, it overrules, it takes over upward. Okay, so what it means is if I say the last screen here, which is LG, is 16, so that means even on XL, which is a screen that is larger than large and extra large, this super rules everything. Okay, so this is like super ruling what I have here. So by the time we check what we have here, we can see it has changed. Because the padding here is now 4 pixel, which is 16 on the left, 16 on the right. Whereas on a large screen, it's going to be 64 on the left, 64 on the right. So when we go to the large screen like this, we still get this back. So but let's go back to our mobile view. Okay, so and also I want a bit of space. Okay, I want some margin in this color. Okay, so I'm going to just do that right now so that we see. So I'm going to do margin. So this margin is going to do so margin not toner is going to be this is going to be this. Okay, and then I'm going to do margin mx to be 4. Yeah, this is what I want to do. Okay, so I want some bit of margin so that the background color is going to reflect. And then the next thing I want to do is this popular collection. Let's reduce the, so I'm going to say this font is 30 pixels, so it's going to be on large screen. While I'm going to do text, I want to set the font to 24 pixel. Yeah, this is what I want. So this is exactly what I want. So the margin here top is a bit too much for me. So that means we set the margin to be what? 160. So I'm going to set this one to be large screen. Okay, so that's going to be on large screen. And then while the margin top. So I'm going to set this one to be margin top and bottom. So you can come here. So here now, margin top and bottom is going to be 10. So you can see. So all these ones here, I'm going to cut it and bring it here now. Yeah. So let's check now. Okay, so I've setting it to 10. So I'm saying the margin top and margin bottom is 10 pixel, and that is what we have here. Exactly what we have here. That is what we have here. Okay, so yeah, so this is what we have. Okay, I think we are almost done. I think there are a few things left now. Okay, I think that's almost all. That's almost all. Let's check the various screens that we have. Yeah, that is it. Simple and straightforward. Then let's check for the iPad here. Yeah, yeah, so iPad mini. Yeah, so that is all that we have for this project. And yeah, so I want you guys to drop comments. If you enjoyed the tutorial, you can drop comments and then like, subscribe to this channel so that whenever I release another video, you can get the notification. So thank you, and don't forget to check the code. The code is on GitHub as well. I've included the link in the video description in the description below. Thank you all, and see you. Bye.